BushCraft. Last week, as we was wrapping up the Ranger Bead episode, I said that we would be doing the review this week. It is the 4th week of the series, and that's typically when we like to do these. So what I have here for you is from Ultimate Survival Technologies, a 4-in-1 tool called the Explorer's Tool. Now, I'm going to go ahead and admit it, I don't see 4-in-1 tools here. I think one of the tools is just an offset of another tool, and I think that just makes it a feature, not its own tool. However, I do think you get a 4th tool if you include the lanyard, and we'll talk more about that here in a little while. Let's go over the dimensions real quick. It is 3.75 inches long. It is 1.5 inches wide, and the lanyard is 5 times the length of it. So you do your own math, and it is relatively lightweight. I love all this about it. You can put this in your pocket. You can put this in your jacket pocket. You can actually probably just tie that off to your belt if you really wanted to. This is easy to carry with you wherever you go. So let's look at the features. And since this is the compass series, let's start with the compass. Now, this compass is going to be different than any other compass you see in the series so far, for the main reason that the face will not move. You have to move it yourself. This is not lens static. Lens static is something different, but you will be able to take note that no matter how you turn it, the face will remain in position. The only moving object on here is the needle, which has one end that's red and one end that is white or silver. To use this compass, you may have to tap it because the needle does like to stick. You will let the needle rest and find north. Once it's felt north, you're going to orientate your compass until north on the compass and the needle line up. You will then have to imagine your own travel arrow, because again, there's no travel arrow on here because you have to move the compass, and you will have to kind of figure out your own direction. I'm getting about a 30-35. Now, things I like about this compass, it has really big cardinal directions. I like to be able just to look at it and see that. The second thing I like about it is it does number the outside, and it's numbered just pretty easily. It goes 20, 40, 60 with big numbers, and then has big lines in between those that represent 30, 50, and 70. And then it has little tick marks in between those two, which represent the 5s. So it's pretty easy to figure out even from a distance. The next feature, which is the reason I think most people buy it, is for the folding binoculars. To do this, you just have to unfold all 4 lenses. You do have an adjustable dial here for the eyepiece, so you can adjust to make it easier on your vision. And it does come with a screw to tighten it, because when it comes out, this does have a little bit of play. You then just place them on your eyes and adjust until you see clear vision. This is supposed to be ×4 magnification. And just in case you're wondering, the lenses across here are 32mm. Now, here is my biggest problem with this is because there's no housing, and I think that's the reason. When you look through here, you will see crystal clear magnification right here, where the ring is centered on the big lens. However, the outside of that lens will be very, very disoriented and blurry, and that causes me to be nauseous and to be disoriented when I'm looking through them. It is very bad when both lenses are at play. However, the best way to do this and minimize that a little bit is to use it like this, where you only have a very little blur and you're able to focus easier with one eye than trying to focus with 2. That's my personal belief, the best way to use it. But try it out yourself and tell me if you find a better way. Now let's move on to the third feature, which is the signaling mirror. Now, if you look at my kit, I don't have a signaling mirror. The reason for this is I just never really find a use for them, so I typically skip on them. However, this one, as far as signaling mirror goes, is pretty well. It does take up light pretty easy, and I'm moving light all around here. I was able to do outside, got a lot of good results with it. It also allows you to look behind yourself, or maybe if you had to address a cut or a wound on yourself to look and see how bad it was, you can use this to look at places that you can't really look at any other way. So it's a nice add-on addition to this, and it does kind of fit with the other 3 or 4 tools, so I'm really happy they included this. So let's move on to the last feature that they call, or the feature that I don't believe in, which is the magnifying glass. Now, if you can look here, the magnifying glass works just like it should to set a fire, and that's really the only feature you're going to get out of it in the woods. You can use this, of course, like a magnifying glass to magnify the object, presumably ×4, because that's what these binoculars are supposed to be rated for. But besides that, there's really nothing else to it. And this is why I really think it's just more or less a component of the binocular, making the binoculars better, as opposed to its own tool. That's just my 2 cents. That's kind of why I don't like to call it a 4-in-1 option. I feel like it's sort of leading on, and I do see why they do it. They want to do it to make you think, oh, there's 4 tools here, and really there's only 3. However, if they would talk more about this lanyard, which is what I'm going to do next, you really do get a 4-in-1 option. Now, what this is pretty actually stout cord. I have been trying I think I've tried to make this video 7 times or 10 times. And every time I've been trying to break this cord as hard as I can, and it will not break. So I really like this cord. And what I have done here so far is I just put little knots in it. And when I first looked at it, I said, huh, I can make Ranger beads. And that is exactly what I would do with this. Now, I would not use beads or the wooden beads. I would definitely use paracord, because where you have 2 strands here, the tension is not going to be the same at all times. It can loosen as time goes on. So you really want those Ranger beads something that you can keep tightened down and keep grabbing onto with this. But yeah, top Ranger beads would work great here. You have plenty of room for either 6 and 7, 4 and 9, and you have plenty of room for your forestry beads at the end. Well, guys, that'll wrap this review up. I guess we'll kind of talk about how much I paid for it and what I would do with it. I paid $5 for this. Typically, that's what you'll find it for at Walmart. You can also get it on Amazon for about $8. So I definitely suggest trying to get this at a cheaper price. It is definitely worth the $5. It could be worth the $8, but if you can save money on getting this thing, I definitely would save money. And what I like the most about it is if you use the scope feature instead of the binoculars, and you do it on the side with a compass, this allows you an all-in-one navigation tool. You can go out, spot the thing in the distance that you want to go to. You can then use your compass and find the bearing for it. And then you can, as you're walking that bearing, you can count your paces, so you can keep an idea of how far away it is and how far away you walked away from your original spot. And then once you get there, if you're really in trouble, you can signal somebody. It really does have a lot of good features like that. My only problem with it, it's kind of beginner stuff. The compass is not the best. It definitely would not be good to use with a map unless you absolutely had to. The binoculars are honestly more or less a big joke. 4 times magnification is not much in the woods. You know, the cord, I actually really like the cord. I talked about that. The mirror's pretty good, but let's face it, you didn't buy this for the mirror. And again, the magnification does make the binoculars better, but it's not its own tool. So that's kind of my problem with it. I guess overall I'd give it probably a 3 out of 5. You know, it's a good 60, enough to pass you, but probably not something you want to brag about. Now let's talk about where I would put this, what I would use this with. I wouldn't use this in my bush kit unless I was new to navigation and compass. This is a great option if you have nothing else and you're just getting into it. Definitely recommend getting this item because it gives you something cheap that you can start practicing with. I would not use this in my hunting kit either because the binoculars are really not set up for it. I really want good binoculars when I'm going hunting, and probably the worst feature on this is the binoculars. So that leaves me with kind of conundrum of where to put this. And I mean, it has a lot of good features, and I'm sure it would make a really good addition to any kit. You know, it's very lightweight, compact. Anyway, it's you know, it's got a lot of reusability. And it would take you almost no time to familiarize yourself with the compass or the binoculars. Familiarity. Where have I heard all these words before? That's right, the EDC kit. This would be great for an EDC kit. It's something you know, cheap, compact, reusable, familiar, and it would be something that's easily stowed away into something small. And honestly, you don't even have to put this in your EDC kit, because my EDC kit is packed to the brim. We all know this. But you could just tie this off to the end of it, and you would already have all the functions there. And then when you needed it, you could take it off. So definitely, this will go in EDC kit. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed the series. I hope you enjoyed the door decor. You'll be seeing a lot more of this come January, February, because it's going to be too cold to film outside. Next week, we will be getting our second set of C's, second C. candle, and you don't want to miss that. And to make sure you don't miss that, you need to like, comment, subscribe to the channel, Backpack Bushcraft. You also can check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Bushcraft. And of course, you can check out the website where I post every week, Sunday nights, 10 p.m. EST, a new blog. That website is www.backpackbushcraft.com. And until next time, guys, keep those fires burning. Put another log on.